hardcore, but I'm not quite that hardcore, you know.
I have a problem.
You also
I do have ADHD. I call this my medicine because I don't have Adderall right now because I don't have a doctor right now. So this is as close to Adderall as I can get. It's Celsius.
Yeah, Morbius and Cthulhu here are trying to figure out what medicine they can use to bring back the giant Furby on my desk. See, it's Halloween. It's the day after Halloween as we're recording this, so I had to break out the Morbius doll, which I...
There were so many people last night while we were trick-or-treating, like, playing the K-pop Demon Hunters, like, soundtrack on their porches and stuff like that. I was like, this is amazing.
I saw so many roomies and it was adorable.
I love that.
So something weird happened to me yesterday, and it's the first time this has ever happened. A girl actually stole a print from me. And I watched her do it, and I just didn't say anything because she stole the K-pop Demon Hunters print.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
She was like 12 or 13, and I was just like, you know what? If she needed it that bad, all right, hun.
Yikes!
You know, welcome to Demon Toast.
It was weird. I was like almost in slow motion. Like I watched her, and I was standing by my booth, and she like grabs it up, opens up her binder real quick, stuffs it in, and then walks away. I was like, okay. And it was like seconds, but it felt like forever.
No, you're a lot nicer than me. I would have like tripped her and been like, hey, you know, that trip is going to cost you a few bucks, man, you know?
I remember what it was like growing up and not like having things or being able to get things and stuff like that. And like the shame of asking sometimes is horrible. And I'm really good about giving stuff away. And if she had talked to me, that would have been different too. But like, I'm not going to judge some kid or get her in trouble over something like that.
Well, that being said, this is Demon Toast, the podcast of Death Wish Poetry Magazine. We discuss horrific and gothic literature and art, and we're talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. You know, last episode we recorded a few weeks ago. We're a little behind, but honestly, not too concerned about it because it's after Halloween and K-pop Demon Hunters is full of demons and monsters and, well, some heavy subjects which we talked about last time. Yeah, seriously. Adrian, honestly, considering this is trick-or-treat season, a trick-or-treater stealing your, a print, not the worst thing that could have happened to you.
No, and it was K-pop Demon Hunters. Like,
I guess you got a trick.
Some of these little ghosties could be pretty nasty, you know? I've heard of some ghosties throwing eggs and throwing toilet paper into trees. I don't know who would do such a thing. I've never done anything like that personally.
Never.
Okay.
We've never
say that now
done
and
that.
Did you?
I would never spray paint satanic and anti-Christian and ACAB stuff on people's cars. I'm an upstanding citizen. We here, in addition to being great singers, we are also upstanding citizens here on the Demon Toast podcast. So.
The requirements, actually, to be part of this.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I asked you guys. I was like, are you upstanding citizen? And you're like, yeah.
Then the second thing was, are you a good singer? Because if not...
Are you a great singer?
A great singer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, if you can't sing like Cher or Amy Lee from Evanescence, I don't want you.
Or like Rumi.
Oh, or like Rumi. Yeah. So
no, actually, her voice is so incredible. All three of them. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting the range they have. I think we left off where they were writing Takedown, and it was kind of uniting them, but it was taking them to a dark place, right? But that first song, Get It Done, right? Totally different. And the big showstopper song, which they never actually get around to singing in full, Golden, uplifting, beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to open up actually by just talking about because you guys both have kids, right? And so do any of us like K-pop? Like, do we listen?
Never did prior to this.
Yeah.
Nope. Had no real experience of it. My oldest went through a little small K-pop phase for a very small amount of time. So I heard of the names of some of the very big groups, but I never really got around to listening to it or getting into it.
Yes. And yeah, Aid, you too. It's not your preferred, you like the Nine Inch Nails and stuff like that.
I do love me Nine Inch Nails, but I will tell you, I do listen to some Blackpink, and I listened to it before Morgan got obsessed with them, but now she's completely obsessed.
So that's where I want to go. I want to talk about your kids and their connection to this because, like, I don't listen to K-pop, but I like things like this. I love animation. I like spooky animation, and I like action. I like superheroes. So this appeals to me in a lot of ways, and contextually, I really like the music. But you guys probably connect in the same way, but you also have kids, which is an added dimension. And this particular property, I think it's worth talking about that. So, Adrian, do you want to talk about your child's love for K-pop Demon Hunters first?
So apparently my daughter has, I guess before she showed it to me, she had watched it like 4 or 5 times. And she wanted to show me her new favorite movie. And so we were sitting in my bed drawing because I was working on some stuff. And she was drawing because she likes to work on stuff. And she's like, "Can I put a movie on?" And so we put on K-pop Demon Hunters. The way my daughter, like, if any of the music plays anywhere, and it does play places now, like, she just, like, her little eyes get all bright and she starts singing and dancing. But really, like, when we were watching it, she found so much. Raising little girls is interesting, and a lot of times they feel like, you know, they're not enough. Or, like, just there's a lot. And seeing things like K-pop Demon Hunters, kind of, you know, where you have Rumi, who's kind of like an outsider at times and stuff like that, but like she makes these friends and she doesn't tell them the truth. I don't know. There's like so many different things for kids in it, and my daughter's just obsessed with all of it. And I feel like it has like some really positive things.
Well, yeah, the whole outsider element for sure, right?
Yes.
CA, do you have a similar experience with you? Because you also have
super
daughters,
similar,
right?
Yeah. So I have 3 girls and a son, and age-wise, my middle 2 are the ones that are like the key demographic for this movie. They're 12 and 9, and that's my daughter is the 12-year-old and my son is 9. And
like 9 to 14, right? You know, that's
and my oldest is just a little bit older than it, but she still enjoyed it and will sit down and like watch it with us. But really, I mean, like the movie, like for sure got its hooks into my 12-year-old daughter because she is like the literal key demographic, and it's all those same themes of like loving this concept of like you can be whatever you are, you can be different, or you can have flaws and you can still be accepted and all of that. And then, you know, my son loves it. The appeal is there for him as well. Like he loved the story, you know, like he loved the fighting scenes and the action-y portions of it. And I think as far as like the music itself goes, I think that age is also like really good for pop music. Like pop music is very appealing to that age demographic, you know? Even my 7-year-old daughter loves the music, and she will sit there and sing and dance to every single one of the songs. They love Soda Pop, of course. That one is incredibly catchy and all the things. Take Down, all of that. So, I mean, it's an incredible movie for kids, but what I love about it is that I think it's like no matter like what age you are at watching it, like there is like depth to this movie, to the themes. And I mean, it was like really touching me as an adult thematically. I was like, it's about generational trauma. You know what I mean? I'm like sitting there like crying. And meanwhile, my 7-year-old is just like dancing to Soda Pop. And I'm like, it's enjoyable no matter what age you are, you know?
Well, I watched it with my 70-year-old mom, and she loved it. And I'm going to tell you, finding movies for her is sometimes kind of difficult, you know? But she just absolutely, like, she loved the music. She was crying at the end because it's emotional. It like, it hits all of those like emotional things. So yeah. So even 70-year-olds, like my mom's like, oh, I've been listening to the soundtrack to K-pop Demon Hunters today when she calls. Really cute.
I love it.
Yeah, I would agree because, like, obviously, like I really love the central like theme of like pop music can be corporate and soulless. There's this theme of oppression and control versus what our Huntrix girls are about, which is connection, identity, healing, friends, family. You know what I mean? And yeah, like that's the thing about Soda Pop. It's a sugary, sweet song that's about nothing. It's so cliche. But it's catchy. That's the point, you know? So yeah, I think that, yeah, you're right. This is like, it's the kind of children's media that we don't get a lot of. There aren't any forced jokes. The characters all have arcs to a degree, right? I think Zoe Zoe even has a tiny arc with the alternative medicine guy where she sees that it's like a juice box. It's enough, you know.
Zoe.
Yeah, right.
Zoe's my favorite.
Yeah, I think we talked about the dichotomy between female superheroes and male ones last time. But you know, should we focus on that for a minute? Did we cover that in great depth last time? Actually,
I think we wanted to get deeper into it this time, especially exploring Gino's character, because we haven't talked too much about Gino.
And
there's a
he's
lot
really
to his character, so there's definitely stuff there to explore, I think.
let's talk about Gino. Okay, so Ginu is the leader of the Saja Boys.
Yes.
He was what? He was a busker. He lived in, I want to say, feudal Korea. He
It
played
felt
his
like
little...
that. Yeah, when they did the flashbacks.
Yeah, and he tells the sad sob story to Rumi about how he played his music and he was really good, but he left his family behind ultimately to be a court musician. And that's why he went to the dark place with what's the bad guy's name?
Gima.
Gimu?
It's Gima.
Giman.
Yeah, the dark place.
It's like spelled Guima, but you don't say the W. It's like
Gima. Yeah.
We're gonna say Gima. Yeah, with Gima, who was made up for the movie. But anyway, so he tells her this whole story, and it turns out that like not actually true, right?
Yeah, he left some bits and pieces out to make himself a little bit more empathetic to her, but then it turns out that he was it wasn't just that the family got left outside of the gates, it was that they were killed.
He was responsible for it and didn't care.
He left them.
And all of it happened because he sold his soul to Gima in return for the usual Faustian bargain, right? A nice place to sleep, some fame, but ultimately his soul belongs to him. And the movie plays with the fact of like, you know, he does want to help Rumi, but he really has no choice because, you know, Gima tortures him when he thinks he can read his mind, he can see what he's doing, and he really has no choice. Or does he, right? I mean, I find him to be fairly complex.
He is a very complex character. That's what I like, complex, you know, morally gray character. I mean, mostly he's the villain, but like then you get a little bit more backstory there. One of the things that I find interesting is that, so Rumi has the patterns. She's half demon, apparently, to our knowledge. You know, her father was a demon, and so she has the patterns. And then one of the things that it like comes out later on is Gino is surprised by the fact that Rumi doesn't have Gima's voice in her head because all the other demons do. So apparently if you are like full demon, he's in your head and he is able to psychologically terrorize you all day, all night, essentially. And so he made some like remark at some point about like, well, you know how it is, like, you know what his voice is like. And she's like, what are you talking about, kind of a thing. And he realizes, oh, she doesn't have his voice in her head. And I think that almost is like, that's like a very interesting like point for Ginu, because he's like, oh, I thought we were the same, but we're not. There's just, there's this like interesting dynamic that happens there. And meanwhile, you know, Rumi's very much consistently always trying to be like, I'm not like you, we're not the same, you know, is trying to be like fully separate, when the reality is like there are some similarities, but there are also some differences between the two, right? 'Cause she's not full demon and she hasn't been being terrorized by Gima the same way that he has. I mean,
the thing with Ginu though is that when he sees Rumi, he's there to tempt her and, you know, cause Huntrix to fall apart so that they can't do their golden, what's it called?
The Han Moon.
They can't do their golden Han Moon, right? That's basically the plot. But the thing is that when she says, I've never had his voice in my head, there is this element of hope that he gets.
Yes, exactly. And he realizes, like, oh, maybe we should help her. Like, maybe, like, there should be, like, a separation here, almost.
Yeah, and it's like, she's like, just help us win this big contest where they were going to do takedown, but she says, I don't like the energy of this. It's not working, you know? Mm-hmm. We need to inspire our fans, not make it a violent, horrible diss track. It's the principle of the thing, not the point of the thing for them, you know?
Also, she's making a case to him. She's appealing to his humanity, if there ever was any there left, you know, because, you know, we get this whole backstory. So, like, he was a human, and then he turned into a demon. We don't know the backstory of all the rest of the demons. Are some of them demons from the start, born demons, always demons, or are some of them also humans turned demons? We don't necessarily know, but she's trying to appeal to this part of him and say, maybe there's still hope for you too. And if you're on this side of the honeymoon when it closes, you know, then you can get his voice out of your head and you can restore your humanity and all of that, essentially. And so a lot of his internal struggle is grappling with that hope, or the belief of, is that even possible for me? Can I restore my humanity or not? You know, like, he doesn't ever come out and say that fully, but you can tell that that's like the struggle that he's having, is like, what I know, like, this is my current reality, this is what I know for sure, and then she's trying to tell me that there's this possibility, there's this hope for me. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if, and it's not even so much, I can tell that it's not even so much if he believes whether or not that's possible, it becomes more whether or not he deserves it. And you see him struggling with all that self-loathing and all of that shame and all of that, you know?
I think there's also an element of trust, too, because, like, he's like, yeah, I can do this, or I can just stick with what I know, right?
Exactly.
Because to betray Gima, he has to make this leap of faith, and what if Huntrix can't pull it off? And yeah, I think you're right. There is this, like, self-loathing and this element of, like, I don't deserve this. Fuck you. I'm gonna do this. And I gotta say, my favorite song in the whole thing is the final song that the Saja boys sing after Huntrix have broken up.
So
it's
good.
Fucking great. It reminds me of personal Jesus. Yeah, pray for me now. And there's like Italian, Maledictus Eras, what is that? Evil Flame, Dies Irae, Days of Wrath are coming, something like that. I'll be your idol, keep you in check, keeping you obsessed, play me on repeat in your head. Anytime it hurts, play another verse, I could be your sanctuary.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'll love you when it all burns down. More than power, more than gold. You gave me your heart, now I'm here for your soul. But the real kicker for me is when he says, listen, because I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. I can be the star you rely on. Don't you know I'm here to save you? Now we running wild? Yeah, I'm all you need. I'ma be your idol. And it's like, he's become the very thing that enslaved him, right? Kind of like Darth Vader, I hate to go here, or Lancelot or something like that, a fallen hero. Like, he's become Gima. Like, all those people are there because they love him, and he's doing this satanic ritual, basically, to consume their souls.
It's harvesting, fully. It's soul harvesting,
I would say that the whole way that Jinu's even able to be tortured is from his shame and guilt. Like, that is what Big Bad uses through the whole thing to keep him in check, is with his shame and his guilt, which makes very human throughout the whole thing, even though he's making selfish choices and stuff like that because he doesn't want to remember his past. But that's the great hold. And with Rumi, at the beginning, her only shame is that she has these markings that she can't share with people, but she doesn't know really, like she doesn't have that, which is why she doesn't hear him in her head until she starts making decisions that are dishonest. And then that shame kind of hits her, you know?
Well, I mean, they explicitly talk about that when, like, Gima is scheming with Jinu. The whole thing is you have to find her shame. Figure it out. And he's like, oh, I'll find it. I'll figure it out. You know, like, everybody has shame. And, like, that's the whole scheme, is once you unlock somebody's shame, now you can control them through this, you know, dark, you know, force, essentially. And then, like, towards the very end, that's, you start hearing the shameful thoughts of, like, it goes from character to character, and you hear each and every one of their inner shameful thoughts as they are being, you know, magnetically drawn towards this your idol scene, you know, with the Saja boys when they sing that, and it's like everybody's being drawn there. And so you hear those thoughts, you know, of Mira and Zoe, and then even their manager guy and a couple of other people, and then you assume that, like, everybody there in the audience probably has some inner shameful thought that's going on. and then you go to the Saja Boy experience, and it's like an analgesic. It's like they're like soothing that for you, and so they're bringing it to the surface, and then they're saying, and I'm the one that's gonna make you feel better. Like, just keep your eyes on me, and I'll make you feel better, you know. And then that's like how they like harvest your soul, sort of a thing. And so that whole concept is so interesting when you put it in juxtaposition from how audiences feel when they're listening to the Huntrix, and what the, I guess, like, purpose of, you know, their performances are in juxtaposition, right? Let's take the song Golden, for example, right? Because that's very much like them. And it's the exact opposite. It's like to bring out the best feelings inside of people, and it's to like build them up and make them feel whole and complete in who they are and accepted just as they are and all of that. And so it's like, that's very much like the theme is, you know, the darkness of the shame versus the light of being just allowed to just be yourself and loved just like that, you know?
So, what you've described as a cycle of abuse that we all live through, right? So I'm gonna go here. I've recently watched twice the hit film The Substance, right? When you see Demi Moore at the beginning and she's about to inject herself with this wonder drug that'll create a younger, hotter doppelganger of herself, she's looking at herself in the mirror and she's naked, right? And the irony there is that she's gorgeous. Like, I don't care how old she is. Like, if I was a female and I was her age, I wouldn't look like that. You know, it's not just a full standard of beauty. It's like TV old, you know? And like, as wonderful and enlightening as that movie is, it is very common, right? Like, you know, you watch whatever show, like there's some new dumb show with Kat Dennings and her dad. I think it's Tim Allen as her dad. It's some cringe sitcom. And like, that's the thing. It's like, that's a woman, right? And it's like, they pick the most beautiful woman they could find, doll her up, and they put her on TV. That's every woman on TV for the most part, you know? Your ugly Bettys are a standout. That's the gimmick. It's an ugly person, you know? What I'm saying is everything gives you a false standard of beauty, and they make you feel like you're not good enough because, you know, you're not built like fucking Brad Pitt, or I'm horribly out of date, you know?
Right.
But you get what I'm saying. You're not built like a supermodel or a movie star. You're not built like any of these people you worship. You don't look like Chris Pratt. You don't look like Brie Larson. You don't look like any of them. So what do? Oh, you better buy this toothpaste. You better buy this makeup. They sell you the cure, as you just eloquently explained, you know? And I think that, like, considering, like, because I really see corporatism and, like, false love being a strong theme in this movie. Like, it's so vicious. And in fact, so the Saja Boys, they have this, it's like a glow stick. It's a thing they do in K-pop where you hold your idol's, like, sigil on a glow stick, right? It looks like a lion, but it also looks like I have here dokebi. I probably butchered that, but it's Korean for goblin, you know? It looks like a lion, but when you turn it on, you see the dokebi's face, which speaks
brilliant,
volumes, right?
It's like a brilliant little piece of animation for sure. That was smart.
For sure. I would want to talk about some of the mythology, unless we have anything else we want to say about, you know, the element of you know, exploitation. Are we done with that?
So much, because you could literally relate things like, I don't know, like the Backstreet Boys and how they were processed, basically, and how a lot of these K-pop, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of K-pop stars die really young.
Let's actually talk about that. We didn't get into that. So, did I mention Ultraman last time?
No.
So in Japan, I know this about Japan because I engage with a lot of Japanese media. I don't know a lot about Korea. I don't know a lot about K-pop or J-pop. But here's the thing. There was a show. Ultraman is this thing that never ends and never goes away. There's a new show every fucking year. So one year, they decide they're going to cast this really popular, you know, male singer from a boy band. And he's going to be Ultraman. And they're going to have him sing and dance. And they get into filming and they get a call from his manager who's like, hey, we own him. We own his singing. You're not allowed. He's not allowed to sing and dance on your show. And that's the thing. Like, J-pop stars, and by extension, most likely K-pop stars also, they're told who they can date, what they can eat, how they can dress. It's in their contract. And, like, yeah, like, the stress is fucking unreal. Drug abuse, alcohol abuse, depression, suicide. These are very common things. Adrian, did you want to elaborate?
Well, honestly, they don't really, like, per se get into it in K-pop Demon Hunters,
They
but
don't
like
get into it at all. However, you could see the Gima
you
dynamic as kind of a metaphor because
and that's kind
this is a kids movie, right?
of yes.
So I think the metaphor is, I think it's effective. You know, it's cohesive. It's not
Mhm.
not like in Avatar: The Last Airbender where he's not allowed to kill the Fire Lord, so he just takes his powers away. Like, let's fuck out of here with that, you know?
No, but I mean,
Yeah,
like,
like,
K-pop stars are a product. Like, they, like,
Yeah.
Yes.
they are, once you step into that world, you are no longer a human being. You are a piece of property. You are owned by your management company, and you're a product. Your body, your voice, your likeness, everything about you is belongs to them. And that's, I mean, obviously I would like to see that change. I would like there to be much more humanity in how that, you know, is for these young people, because I can't imagine the stress of that, you know. And I don't know, like you said, it is like the Gima like parallel is pretty strong there, because it's like, I'm sure they are promised fame, fortune, comfort, luxuries, all of those things, but at what cost?
At what cost? And I do want to underline this. It is different from pop stars in other countries. Like, yeah, we have our Taylor Swifts and our Katy Perrys and our, I don't know, who's that girl that everyone loves and hates?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Chappell Roan.
Oh,
Sabrina
Chappell Roan.
Carpenter.
Yeah.
Thank
I was
you.
like, I don't know. I'm just throwing out pop stars.
I know. Take your pick. But like, they do have managers. A lot of times, you know, some of them are abused. It does happen. But by and large, they get to make their own choices, and they could just stop doing it if they want to. In Korea and Japan, what'd you say?
No, I said right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Right. Okay, cool. But like, yeah, like in a lot of these countries, there is a stratified systemic, like, apparatus that exists that snaps them up real young before they can make any real decisions and gets them to sign contracts. It's a thing. It's not great. And yeah, maybe it'll change. But yeah, that's why, like, Huntrix is able to focus on what matters. I mean, like, I pulled up the lyrics to Golden, which is their big fucking song that the whole movie centers around.
I'm gonna be golden.
It's a good song, but like, it's about shedding your mask and showing everyone who you are and being, you know, kind of a cliche thing. I feel so trite even saying that, but it's true, and it is very beautiful. I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining like I'm born to be. Our time, no fears, no lies. Let's see. You know, we're gonna be golden. Well, okay. We're glowing up with our voices. Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now. Finally live like the girl they all see, right?
Okay,
Because
I really want to talk about this. I actually have some things I want to say about this song, because this song was written prior to the conclusion of the movie, right? So during the time when Rumi is still trying to hide the truth of who she is, trying to hide her patterns and all of that. So in a way, this song is beautiful as it is, and as much as I think it does like touch the masses and all of that, contextually pull behind the curtain, and you realize like there is an element of toxic positivity going on here, where Rumi is still not fully embracing all of who she is. So like, it's like the words are there, but the substance isn't, right? Like the packaging is really nice, but there's no real nutrients inside of it. Juxtapose that against the song at the very end that she sings after everybody has seen who she is, and then they all sing it together, and that what it sounds like. And that song, to me, that's the real medicine. That's the real medicine right there, because that song is about actual integration of your shadow self, your light self, all the pieces of who you are, good, bad, ugly, everything in between. It's all allowed to be here, and it's all allowed to be loved. Whereas Golden is very much like, here's our best, brightest, shiniest parts that are worthy of love, versus, no, here's all of who we are, and it's still worthy of love. Like, we are allowed to be accepted just as we are, marks, patterns, and all, you know, scars and all.
Yeah. And this is why my daughter felt so impacted by this movie, because, you know, that's, yeah.
And there's a reason why Golden, people, this is funny, because, like, I'm also in, like, the music world, and, like, the world of like singing and stuff like that, and I've been a music coach and all of these various things, and I've heard a lot of people talking about the song Golden. It is incredibly difficult to sing, even for trained sopranos. Like, it is so high, and we are being asked to belt at a very, very, very high pitch. And that's why you see Rumi struggling and her voice cracks and she can't do it, essentially. And that is like, it's by design. It's to say that, like, you think about like what I just described about that song, and then you see Rumi failing to perform the song because it's almost designed to, like, it's almost designed to be so impossible to actually belt that high pitched that even many of us trained singers are like, how? Like, I can't sing this note and belt it. Like, I could maybe get it in falsetto, but I can't belt it, you know? And it's just like, and I hear all these singers talking about this, like, this is so hard. This song is really hard to sing. And literally, that's the point. The point is, we can't sustain that level of faking being okay when we're not okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's one of my big things. One of my big takeaways about the movie. Like, I just love how they use the music itself as a like narrative device, essentially. You know,
I didn't
know. Like, CA, that is brilliant.
I didn't realize that Golden went that high, because it does. It's very uplifting. You know, I was driving home from my grandmother's house, and my grandmother has cancer, and I was listening to it, and I broke down and cried because her voice goes so high, like, at one point in that song, and it hit me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great insight. And you can't present that perfection unless, of course, you're Derpy and Sussy, who are the little kitty cat and,
oh, I love them so much.
Hat-wearing bird that follow Gino around, you know? They do it effortlessly.
I love them so much.
I'd like to point out that they're from a type of Korean art. There's a Korean place on South Street, actually, and we saw it, and I was like, hey, it's the kitty cat, it's the tiger, you know?
The idiot tiger.
Yeah, idiot tiger.
Yeah.
So it's called minhwa. It's a type of folk art style, and they are a subset called hojak-do, which is specifically a tiger, a magpie, and a pine tree, which are very common tropes in hojak-do painting. The tiger always looks stupid, and the magpie is mocking him. There's probably some connections to the three-legged crow from Japan, the Yatagarasu, but something fascinating that I read was that hojak-do was very popular at a certain point because there was like an emperor or a king or a lord that everybody hated, and there was like a political dimension to it. So it's a very old, I think it goes back to the 1400s by our reckoning.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, it's stuff like that makes this distinctly, despite being an American production, Korean, and I love that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like when Kung Fu Panda came out, like China had like a government commission like to investigate how America could make a movie that was so authentically Chinese. It's on that level. Although in this case there were Korean people working on it. It's no mystery, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Jong-un's not gonna have to look into it, you know. Oh, you know, the filthy pig dog Americans ripping off our culture.
Cave.
What'd you say, bro?
I said maybe he'll find another unicorn in a cave.
Or he'll play like a perfect game of golf, you know, everything hole in one.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't do as much wacky stuff as his dad used to do, you know. Kim Jong-il is like my favorite dictator. Anyway, all right, we're not gonna go there.
That's crazy. My favorite dictator. I'm dead.
Look. He kidnapped a Japanese filmmaker to make like a communist version of Godzilla at gunpoint. Like, that's fucked up. Like, that's a level of genius. Anyway, so yeah. I do want to highlight the fact that, like, this movie plays with a lot of things. Like, that's a big one. And I appreciate your insight into Golden there, CA, because, like, listening to I've been hooked on Manson's Dope Hat recently, right? And it's a song about a performer. Let me read this here. Failed to see the tragic, turned it into magic. We all know the hat is wearing me, you know? And it's like, at a certain point, playing into a nasty character, that's off his first album. The hat is still wearing him. You know? And like, yeah, I think that Genu does flirt with betraying Gima, but it's just not who he is. And yeah, at the end, he is moved to deal the final blow back to Gima, destroying himself in the process, but it kind of comes at the last minute, you know? And for him, it's too little too late. His soul shatters, and I think he goes into Rumi. Like, she carries that little bit of goodness he had. Yes? I think so, right?
Yeah, it's a slightly open to interpretation, but that's how I took it as well.
Yes. We talked about the Jiosang Saja, which are the Grim Reapers, right? We talked about their Norigai, their horsehair hats, which I need. It's called a got hat. I need one.
You need Those.
Is that what those hats are? Is that what they're called? The type of hats that they wear?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah, those
cool
things
hats.
are sick.
Yeah,
Those things are
they're made from
sick.
they're made from horse hair.
The Hunk Moon is actually real Korean mythology as well. It is the border between the other world and our world. And so that's strengthened.
Okay. That's cool. That's very neat. Did you have anything else about Korean mythology?
Actually, you covered most of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just glad that someone else knows this stuff.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is a movie that took 9 years to make. It was a labor of love. It's weird that Sony's making all the good animated movies. They had their Puss in Boots movie, which is fucking great. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch Puss in Boots and the Last Wish. Yeah, it's great, isn't it, Abe?
I've seen it, yeah.
I'm the daughter turned to me when we were in the theater watching that, and she's like, "Mom, you're the ridiculous puppy," and I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, it's like
Oh, like telling this like really tragic story, like it's the most hilarious thing they've ever heard, and they're like, "No, that's sad."
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's funny.
that's also me.
Aw.
I mean, it's me and you for show.
It's one of those movies I went to see. I was like, oh, it's one of Justin's animated movies. And then he starts singing, and I'm like, oh no, it's great. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future. But like, yeah, they had that. They had the two Spider-Verse movies, which are the best Spider-Man movies, easily. I mean,
Agreed.
Oh my god, so good. Also, I want to say, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything because I don't have anything specific to say, but I will say that I have a little bit of insider information from a very, very good source. Keep your everybody eyes peeled. At some point, probably next year, you might start seeing some announcements about this. Huntrix, right? These three girls that are not even, they were just hired for this movie. They're actually putting them on tour because of how successful this film was and this music is. They were like, yeah, we're sending you on tour. So this film started fully fictional, and now these girls are actively being turned into a real K-pop group, which is interesting because they're all from here. They're all Korean, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like an American K-pop group.
So this movie went Full Metalocalypse, right? Where like,
yes,
that's cool. Like Death Clock's a real band
crazy?
now. I mean,
yep,
cool. Yeah. Hey, I'd see them. I mean, not if the ticket's over $100, but you know.
The tickets are totally going to be over 100.
Because every mom so much money because they know that every mom, their kids are going to be
every
like,
mom,
Mommy, I have to go. And we're just going to be like, okay.
Like, seriously, it's going to be me and you. Our daughters are going to be like, Mom, like,
and this is my 12-year-old I'm talking about, and I told you those stories about her earlier off, whatever, mic or whatever. She gonna look at me. Those tickets could be $500, and you know I'm gonna pay it because this little kid's gonna look at me and be like, "Mommy, how could I say?"
She's a sweetie, yeah.
The fact that it's so powerful and it's gonna mean so much. There's no defense against that. There's none.
I know.
Well, that's cool. I was wondering about that element of the movie too, because like Golden, I think the version we hear all the time was sung by a K-pop group, and there was also Takedown, which was sung by a K-pop group, a different K-pop group. So I was kind of like, I kept asking Justin, he didn't know, he's my animation guy, who does the singing? He's like, I don't know. So yeah, I guess most of the singing in the movie is actually done by, because I know that Jinu, that one song, his voice actor is a singer. His name is Ain Hyun Sup. He was in another movie where he sang that song that plays when Jinu and Rumi are together. That's from his movie, So I didn't realize that they actually did the singing. So that's really cool. I'm glad to hear it. Good for them.
Yeah,
I hope they get
exactly.
A nice cut of the profits.
Their voice actors, they specifically hired them. They made sure that they could sing as well. And so, these three women are now going to be... Congratulations! You did such a good job. You're now a K-pop group, and we're putting you on tour. Like, could you imagine?
Game over, man!
It's fucking crazy, man.
It's crazy.
I'm
excited for them. I'm excited.
I hope they put on a fun show, like a Mona Marth or Gwar does, or demons come out and they kill them while they're singing. Because
I'm imagining. I'm sure they're gonna have a huge production budget. There's no way they're gonna spare expenses. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
I mean, the girl that played Mira actually showed up in a sleeping bag to an event, like her character It was really cute.
Obsessed. I love it.
Let's gently, before we're done, let's talk about the female superhero thing. So this is appealing to little girls in a way that female superhero comics don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a purveyor of American comic books, I can tell you right now that most female superheroes have a few things in common, mainly their waistline and their bust size,
Yes.
And that's pretty unfortunate. Jenny Sparks in the early 2000s and in the 90s and 2000s, she broke new ground by having small breasts, and by dressing in band t-shirts. I remember being so embarrassed when I was reading it. I was like, something different about her. And I was like, So there's that, right? There's also the fact that, so there's an arc where Thor is unworthy of Mjolnir, and his girlfriend Jane Foster lifts Mjolnir because she has cancer, and she gets up in the morning and she's overcome all this stuff. Like, she's worthy, and she lifts Mjolnir, becomes a female Thor, and she has that idealized body type. And I there isn't much different from her and Thor, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not the best at talking about feminist issues, right? But it still remains that the She-Hulk comic book, it broke new grounds when it made her unsexy and more like the regular Hulk, And that's the key thing. Female superheroes are generally written for a male gaze, by which I mean they're overly sexualized, and that's largely the point. Even when they are given good character arcs and beats.
Yeah.
There's lots. So the New 52, it was meant to be a big, new slate for all the characters. They all got number ones, even the ones that never get new number ones. Wonder Woman, issue 1. What do you think she's doing, Sia? Take a wild fucking guess.
I can't.
She wakes up naked in bed and stretches, you see it. Yeah. Catwoman, Adrian, take a wild fucking guess what happens in issue 1 of Catwoman.
She wakes up and she's half naked.
No. You were so close. No, she's engaged in hot, aggressive sex with Batman. Yeah. Now, meanwhile, in Batman #1, Bruce Wayne is in his suit. He's talking to one of his Robins. They're infiltrating a thing. Superman #1, he's doing his reporting as Clark Kent. Swamp Thing. He's on the run from the spookity bookities. He's on his motorcycle. Every female superhero is like this. Red Hood and the Outlaws. Here's Starfire. She's naked in the pool. Jason Todd comes in, and I don't know who the other Red Hood character. I didn't read the book. I just read about the first issue. She's having sex with both of them. And that's this is a consistent thing. They're not always that sexualized, but that's usually a huge component of it. K-pop demon hunters. They're not doing cheesecake poses. They're not wearing skanky outfits. They do dress sexy. They are attractive. The director wanted them to be overweight and belching and stuff like that. He wanted them to be overweight and belching and stuff like that. But that was kind of overruled, right? But we see them eating. We see them. I mean, not
they
that
do. They do belch. They are very humanized. Yeah,
yes.
Female superhero type characters written by a female are so different than when they're written by a man, right? And they knew who their audience was, and they knew that they wanted to humanize these young women. And so like you pointed out, while they are, conventionally attractive in their own unique ways, they are very human. And I would say their attractiveness isn't the most interesting thing about them. It's not the important aspect of who they are. It's just an aside. It's they happen to be cute, but that's not really what makes them who they are.
Yeah, Thor's always drawn as this super attractive, 6'8" guy, but you're obsessed with Mjolnir and the things he's talking about. Same thing with our K-pop demon hunter characters. They have cool magic weapons. Adrian, go right ahead. I cut you off.
It's okay. So a lot of their costuming is based off of Blackpink costumes.
Mm-hmm.
The band. If you watch any of their music videos, you can literally see oh my God, she's dressed literally like Rumi in this. They must have watched 100, lots of it. But also, so especially at the end, during their transformation scenes, where they pull out their weapons and stuff like that, it is very similar to things like Sailor Moon. I know we're comparing them to superheroes, which Sailor Moon kind of is.
Sailor Moon's a superhero.
It's so Sailor Moon-like. It's that super magical girl thing that you've got going on, but they did it in such a powerful way. Sailor Moon, back when I was a kid, like she would whine and cry and she's really obnoxious, like all of the time. She makes mistakes, she's ridiculous, and she cries literally all of the time. But then she still like saves the day, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah, one of the things that I find interesting about their characters is that and to me, I prefer this, right? Okay, so if we're on like the spectrum, right, of like overly sexualized and, you know, like that level of female superhero, it's just about like your body and your boobs and your sexual, you know, attractiveness to the male gaze. On the other end of the spectrum, which is what you were referring to earlier, like making them like fat and unattractive and belchy and whatever, like to me, that still isn't good or correct as far as, because that's making it, that's like it's like the opposite, it's like the opposing, you know, archetype, and that's not real.
It becomes a gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually like what they've done with these characters, because to me this speaks more to like real feminism, which is that you can be cute and pretty and attractive, and that doesn't take away from your virtues and your skills and your characteristics of like the depth of who you are as a human. Like just because you're a woman who happens to be cute, who happens to wear mascara, like they even have a line in that opening song, how it's done. What do they say? I actually pulled the lyrics up. Heels, nails, blade, mascara, fit check for my napalm era. Please, like,
that is so good. That is so fucking good.
Here's your crown. To me, that is exactly everything we're talking about right now, which is that, like, you can be a beautiful woman and a badass, period. Like, it's both. You don't have to choose. You don't have to be one or the other.
Absolutely. 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 They really do nail it wonderfully. I wanted to highlight, like, this other comic book called Faith. I didn't read it, but it was, like, written as a conventional superhero comic, but the main character was fat. And she wore like a cape, and again, it's just, you've taken it too far, you know. Maybe and now maybe Faith is like, you know, comic about body positivity, and it is really well done. But when I would see it next to all the other ones, like I was just like, okay, you're doing a thing. I don't know, you know. It becomes a gimmick, and yeah, I think that they rode the line in a really neat way, and I think they hit the mark, and that's why I think a lot of little girls are watching this and enjoying it, because yeah, these are characters that like to look attractive, they like to express their emotions, they like to eat, they like to go out, they like to do things, they like to talk about boys, but they also kick ass, and all those things are perfectly balanced, as all things should be, right? To quote another superhero property. So yeah, and Adrian, bringing up Sailor Moon as maybe the K-pop Demon Hunters, totally apt. I mean, you know, we could probably talk about magical girl stuff in the future. I mean, my friend Chris keeps tugging me to do it because he's fucking annoying and he likes all that stuff.
It's a complicated.
He's a complicated figure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he's dead actually. When we did the Slender Man video, there was that video of the Slender Man killing him. Remember that, Adrian? We played it during the show.
Yeah.
He's like, don't stab me, bro. Don't stab me, bro. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe he'll come back from the dead to talk about magical Madoka or whatever, the Madoka Magica or whatever. Yeah. So, anything else to say before we wrap up?
K-pop Demon.
I feel good. I feel like I got everything off my chest that I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You know, K-pop Demon Hunters is delightful. It's very empowering for not just little girls, but I mean, I was fucking empowered watching it. I'm hardly a little girl, so you know, I'm a big girl. No, all joking aside, it's a great movie. It's got great music, great action, great characters, wonderful themes. And if you don't like K-pop, you don't need to like K-pop, because I don't like K-pop either. But I love this movie.
Exactly.
You know?
Don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you. This movie is so good.
Yeah, the hype is real. And, you know, this being spooky season, I don't give a fuck if we're a day after Halloween when this is recording. When you listen to this, when you hear it, it's still spooky season for us here at the Demon Toast podcast, you know? So
all year round, baby.
Always spooky.
Yeah, I don't care if Rudolph's on the fucking radio. Fuck Rudolph. He's a fucking... That's conformist bullshit. I hate Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you know?
Adrian hate it, too.
Nothing to say.
Hate everything about Rudolph.
Good. Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess you could lead Santa's reindeer. Whatever. Yeah. Weirdo. Yeah. Exactly. Fuck Rudolph. He's a sellout. Anyway. Yeah. So, you know, Adrian is the chairperson and founder of the Horror Film Art Society. I probably said that wrong. Horror Art Films.
You did it right.
You got too many words. Horror Film Art Society of Amarillo. Every month there's a movie picked, and you can submit art and writing related to that movie and be in their live art shows, and also their magazine, which is called Goblin Crypt, which I am also an editor of. So, Adrian, you want to talk about it?
Well, literally, thank God Dan is our editor, because let's be honest, I'm a little woo, but no. It should be really fun. We need your submissions. I believe this next month here in November, it's going to be the film Dangerous Animals, about the shark and the serial killer. That's a line right there. So yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah, so do check that out. Links below. Quick question. You submitted to Death Wish under a different name. Are we keeping that separate from you here? Yeah.
No. We can talk about that. We can talk about that. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. I can say that you published under Millie Rose.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
It's my alter ego. Yeah, okay. It's my poetry alter ego. But everybody knows that it's me. It's like an open secret. One of those things.
It's like King Loki. Yeah, got it.
Exactly. It's moniker. It's basically a moniker.
What's DA short for, by the way?
Carol Ann. Like the girl from the Poltergeist. My parents literally named me after her.
Okay, cool, yeah.
That movie came out earlier in the year when they were pregnant with me, and they were like, I like that name. I'm named after a horror film character. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, Adrian's daughter's middle name is Danger, so,
Obsessed. I love it.
So, CA, of course, has a website. We do link it below every time, but it is called Embracing Divergence. CA, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm just like a spiritual and creative coach. I'm here to help make your dreams come true, basically. If you are a writer or a musician or creative or an entrepreneur of any kind, my specialty is helping you get there, essentially, and be the most authentic, like inline version of yourself so that you can create the best art or product or whatever it is you're trying to create. Yeah, that's my specialty. That's what I do. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, and CA is also in our fall edition of Death Wish Poetry Magazine, Crossroads. She published under her moniker, Millie Rose, a wonderful poem called Anathema. It's beautiful. It's very good. Do check out our magazine. It's only $10 for the physical edition, $5 for the PDF. So, spooky, morbid, erotic writing throughout it. We have short stories, we have art, we have poetry, and I'm of course King Loki. I edit Death Wish Poetry Magazine and run this show. Demonlandbooks.com, deathwishpoetry.com. That's all I've got for you. Yeah, write poetry, make art, love your demons, obviously.
Period.
Sure, I always cut you motherfuckers off.